It was the same Tony I met 3 months ago in Black Haven. He took me to his grandmother's house in South Memphis and showed me a room full of studio equipment. My eyes lit up as if I had found a pot of gold. It turns out that Big Tony kept his word. I joined in with 2 other people that Tony had on the team, a rapper named MC Rod and a DJ named Slice T. Fat Tony gave us the direction. MC Rod and I wrote the lyrics and made the beats, and Slice T did all the scratches. We had a chemistry on putting songs together. Our plan was to write songs for Tony until his album was complete, and then we would get a chance to work on our own. Put the studio together, we started recording, man, you know, me, Rod, and Slice T. That, you know, we the first 3 that started out at Good to Go, man. Tony rented out a building on Park Avenue and titled it Good to Go Studios. That became the main headquarters for us, and we began to create music. On the weekend, when everybody went out to party, I would stay locked in the studio for days, perfecting my skills on the mic and on the beats. As time went by, I worked my way to the front of the line and became the first up to bat at GTG. Tony began to notice that my desire and dedication was stronger than the rest of the group, so he got behind me 100% and encouraged the others to do the same. While I was making progress at the studio, I was failing in school. When Fat Tony got the studio around the corner, so I used to leave Sherwood and go to the studio. I ain't really never had to go to school, you know. They kicked me out of Sherwood for poor attendance. So I left Sherwood and went to Melrose, you know. We started working on my album, and halfway through the project, the unimaginable happened. While cruising Beale Street one summer night, gunshots rang out. And when the smoke cleared, I suffered a critical head wound while Tony suffered a fatal one. Decided we was gonna hang out that night, man, and we ended up going downtown because the fair was in town. And we were just riding around on Beale Street. We stopped right there at Bill and Danny Thomas. And next thing I know, I just heard shots ring out, you know. Just like they wouldn't ever stop, just pow, 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 you know. It's like they wouldn't stop. And I just felt this glass shatter in my face, you know. Because they were shooting through my window. And I guess the bullet that hit me knocked me out, you know what I'm saying? He died inches away from me. The sound of him taking his last breath haunted me for a long time. After Tony's death, his grandmother and uncles came and confiscated all the equipment and shut down GTG Studios for good. When he died, man, his family just came and snatched all the equipment at the studio. They even took stuff that wasn't there. That's how crucial it was. One day I got a call from MC Rod telling me that we had another investor, a hustler by the name of Reginald Boylan. Reg came in, you know, he picked up the slack, reopened the same studio, put new equipment in it, you know, kind of created the same environment that Tony had, and we went back to work, man. We finished up my album at Cotton Row. We took it to Ardent Studios where Larry Nix mastered it. It was the first rap album they'd ever done. We released the first single independently. It was a 2-song cassette that contained the Gangster Walk anthem, I'm the Gangster. And the Crack Dealer's anthem, Shooting on Knocks.
Open up, this is Sam Jack Horn. Open up, I'm coming in.
During that time, NWA had taken over the rap world. I had a chance to meet NWA backstage after their concert in Memphis, Tennessee at the Mid-South Coliseum. I said one rap for Ice Cube and he sent me to Dr. Dre. I rapped for Dr. Dre and he sent me to Eazy-E. Eazy gave me a number and an address and told me if I could make it to LA, he would give me a shot on Ruthless Records. I was talking to Q for a minute, you know, telling him that I rap and all that. And he was like, well, let me hear something then, you know. So I spit a rap for him. asked me to spit another one for him. And he was like, yeah, you tight, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take you over here to Dre and let Dre hear you. So he went and got Dr. Dre, and I rapped for Dre, you know what I'm saying? Dre was like, hold on, we need to let Easy hear this, man. So they went and got Easy. So I rapped for Easy, man, and you know, Easy was like, rap again, let me hear something else. He just kept wanting to hear different verses. So I spit as much as I could for him. And he was like, you know, man, you need to come out to LA, you know what I'm saying?
So once I told Reg about the offer, about 2 weeks later, he bought plane tickets to LA.
And we went out to LA for a few days, man, and me and Pretty Tony, you know, we went to Compton, man. The first thing we did was went to Compton. Because we had to see for ourselves what it was like, you know, because everybody was bragging about Compton, man. So we gets out the car, man, we standing in the middle of Compton and take a picture by the Compton sign. We must have been crazy, you know what I'm saying?
We paid Ruthless Records a visit. We never caught up with Easy, but we got a chance to see how their operation was set up. That was all the motivation we needed. We couldn't wait to get back to Memphis. When we returned to Memphis, I'm the Gangster quickly became the hottest song in the city, and shortly after it began to receive heavy rotation on both local radio stations, Magic 101 and K97 FM. One day, while in the studio recording, we got a call from a Miami, Florida-based label by the name of Joy Boy Records. They offered us a deal and we took it. Shortly after signing with Joy Boy, the record began to spread like a wildfire all over the southern region, and Atlantic Records wanted a piece of it. They took the album to a whole nother level and promoted it all over the country. With my video on national TV and my record in heavy rotation, I finally felt like I made it as a rap artist. Later that year, I opened up for the Short Dog in the House tour, headlined by Too Short and Ice Cube. One day, while taking a lunch break from recording, we stopped by a burger joint called Central Park. We met a cook by the name of Primrose, and we nicknamed him Big Daddy.
I pulled ball in, you know what I'm saying? I invited him up to the studio. I started working with him because Reg didn't want him around at first. You know what I'm saying? Reg was a baller. He was leery about new people that came around because he had that work. He was trying to make sure wasn't nobody coming around and hit him, you know what I'm saying? So he was leery about everybody I brought through the door, man. But when I brought 8 Ball in, I made it clear that, man, you know, I want to work with him. You know, he hungry, he wanted, you know, he don't have a problem with listening. You know, he take direction good, so I want to work with him.
I convinced Reg to let me produce him and sign him to the label. Reg agreed, and Primrose was officially an OTS artist. Shortly after, he brought a friend named Marlon up to the studio, and 8 Ball and MJG was born. I produced their first song, which was titled 8 Ball to Fat Mac. Everything seemed to be going good until I noticed something was missing. The money. Reginald Borland was the CEO of the label and my manager, which caused a conflict of interest. When I began to question him about my money, we would get into these small verbal disagreements that later turned into huge arguments, and after a small scuffle between us that took place in front of OTS, our artist-manager relationship was over.